Is this? Yeah. Okay, man. Cool.
All right, let me just.
I kicked my girlfriend out of the room. I'm like, don't come in here.
Yeah, that's all good. Alrighty, I'll just change the info and then we are good to go. I can actually. What do you use to stream, man? Do you just go straight from
um,
Zoom to?
yeah, I have a Focusrite interface for
Yep.
my audio, and I'm just using my computer, and I guess I'm using a little camera and Zoom, basically.
Yeah, nice. Looks good.
Right?
Sounds good.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, it sounds great. I usually
Okay,
like
nice.
my last couple of ones have been like oldies, and they use like their laptop microphone and their laptop speaker.
No, yeah, I know. I'm real like anal about freaking audio because I record
Yeah.
music too. So I have like a
Yeah.
I have like a recording studio in my garage, and so like vocals is kind of easy compared to freaking trying to record drums. Like that's hard. You know what I mean?
Exactly right. Right.
So what time is it over there?
It's 10:19 a.m.
Okay,
in the
crazy.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's Sunday over there,
Yeah,
right?
it's Sunday here now. What day is it there?
That's bizarre. It's Saturday.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing talking to like the whole podcasting thing where you can just have a chat to somebody from
It's pretty amazing, actually.
wherever, you know what I mean? It's banana.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, I'm gonna
Especially especially like because that would be like impossible like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. It's such a weird thing to be able to just do so easily now.
Yeah,
It's so seamless.
yeah, I know. And like I can hear you. It's like instant, you know.
Yeah.
And the phone the phone would charge me like $100 a minute if I tried to call you on the phone, you know.
$8 million phone call. Already, I'm gonna hit the live button, and we are on.
Nice,
Ledger,
man.
how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I was outside putting a pool together, and
Oh,
I
nice.
put that on hold, and I came in here to talk to you, man.
Amazing. It's getting that weather over there, isn't it? Where it's
Oh, dude, South
heat up a little
Texas is brutal. Huh?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
South Texas. Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
okay.
Yeah, that's how hot does it get over there?
It's crazy. It's like okay, so I'm close to the water. I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas, and it's very very humid. Like
Oh
you
yeah.
feel you get soaked like completely. But if you go to West Texas, it's like super dry, and you can like pass out easily. Like it's like 100 degrees, but you're just like bone dry. So I don't know how it is over there. Is it similar to that, or is it real humid, or is it pretty dry?
Depending on where you go, Australia has a little bit of everything because it's so large, man. It's like you get your humid places, you get your super dry ones. Where I am, it's like relatively dry, but we get
Yeah.
the extremes of both. We get the super hot days,
Yeah.
and then we get the super cold winters.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's horrible. It is horrible. Let's see, 137. Yuck.
Jeez,
So yeah,
I have this
100
weird.
degrees over there. 37. Sorry.
Yeah, I
You
had
go.
this weird perception of what Australia is like. Like I don't know, it just seems like a huge desert with freaking massive snakes everywhere and kangaroos and jumping everywhere, which is a typical stereotype from somebody like me. Obviously, it's like anywhere else in the world, I would imagine. And I'm pretty sure you see Texans like riding around on horses, like yeehaw, shooting guns in the air and shit. You
Yeah, that's right. Is that true? You guys ride around with horses shooting guns in the air?
Yeah, I do sometimes. Not in the air, but at targets.
Yeah, that's right. So we're kind of half right. I guess we're both half right. There, like over here, there's a big desert right in the middle, and it's
Really?
everywhere full of snakes and spiders. Yeah.
Cool, man.
full of things that'll just every American I speak to, they typically ask that. They're like, "What's it like over there?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's all right." Like, don't you guys have lots of snakes and stuff? Like, oh yeah, we
Big
have
ones.
we have them all. If
Yeah.
if it's gonna kill you, it's here. Same with spiders. We have so many
Oh, dude,
dangerous
I'm so
spiders.
scared of spiders. Like
Yes, I'm not a fan.
the Black Widow is the one I see the most, and it scares me the most. And they're about yay big.
Mm.
And that's probably nothing compared to what y'all are dealing with over there.
We have like a weird, like the smaller ones are kind of scarier, but then there's like some of the big ones which are terrifying. It's
Yeah,
like
I've seen
most of the
pictures.
big ones, yeah. So most of the big ones are usually I usually leave people alone. The small ones sort of get into your home and stuff, like your redbacks.
Yeah. At least you can see the big ones, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
But then there's some big ones out there that will just murder you. So
Jesus. So that brings I don't know how. I guess we just have a free for all. I don't know if you had any questions for me, but
no, man, I like this like
let's
unpack
just talk. Huh?
people. Like, yeah, just as you
Okay.
go. I think there's a bit of like a surprise element to it.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
for sure, man.
sort of,
I'm into
have a
that.
bit of a rough idea of what we do, and but I'd like to hear about your podcast.
Yeah, sure, man. It's called Lizard News Network. It's kind of me and my buddies would call CNN Lizard News. Or like, oh yeah, they're watching Lizard News over there because they're, if you heard the conspiracy of lizard people and reptilians and all that stuff, and who knows, man? I don't know. Maybe there is reptilians. I don't know. But and a Pindar, and like people saying like, oh yeah, there's these 7-foot lizards that live underground that are running everything. And I kind of just took the name and ran with it, man. And I thought it was pretty cool. So, but I'm talking to all types of people. I'm talking to my friends. I'm talking to you, and it's awesome, man. I'm enjoying it so far. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's like I was saying before. It's especially with COVID. I think there was that sense
Oh,
of like humans need to get out and they need to socialize, and obviously when COVID kicked off, that just halted everything. And I think this was like the good like median between being stuck at home and still being able to converse with people. But
mm-hmm.
on the upside, you get to talk to people from like all over, like rather than just in your direct circle, like in the same town as you or the same city or whatever, who have the same mindsets and they grew up the same and they're the same beliefs, and it sort of breaks down that tribalism a little bit, where you can get a little bit more perspective. I know there's some people I've spoken to on here that I do not agree with, but it's good to have a chat to them and get a bit more perspective.
Absolutely, dude. Like that's the coolest thing I think so far. Like just thinking like, oh, cool, I'm going to talk to Josh from Australia. Like that's totally awesome. I've never talked to anybody in Australia. And like you were saying, it's the Zoom was kind of like a necessity that they used to get through this COVID crap. It was a necessity, and necessity is the mother of all invention. So it just kind of got bigger, and I guess it's just made it easier for people like us to talk basically halfway around the world. And that's interesting. You were saying that, and made me think of something like, so what's going on with COVID over there, man? Like, how strict is it?
We're all right, but we're
Not so bad.
no, like we, especially where I am. So I'm in Canberra. I'm in like the capital. Everyone took it like fairly serious here, and there was like a good amount of people. Like we understood that we needed to, regardless of what people were saying, like just stay at home type thing until they buff it out. I think there was like the difference between us and say over there where you are. There was really no confusion about it. And whatever confusion, like we don't particularly listen to our politicians a lot. So It was like, so when they're like, you can do this, but you can't do this. Well, no, fuck it. We'll just shut it down.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We actively, as people, took a different route where we shut it down, like of our own accord. So then now it's nothing. We're back to normal. We still got a couple of things in place in terms of like we got to check in, just so they can tell if there's somewhere that like a bubble breaks out, they can kind of pinpoint who is where. And
what do you mean check in? What do you mean check in?
So there's like an app that you use, and when you go to like the gym, you just check in. at the gym. So like people, so say if they go, all right, well, 2 people from this place got it, and they can go, well, they all go to this gym, and these are the people at that gym at that time.
What's the app called?
I don't know. It's some government.
Oh, does it freak you out? Does that freak you out?
Nah, not at all,
No,
man. Not at all.
not at all.
Does it freak you out? Like, so what,
It freaks me out.
why is that?
Just the fact that they know exactly where I'm at all times, and I know that Google knows where I'm at all times for sure. I mean, obviously, but in America, we have a thing where you have the right to privacy with your medical history.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of impedes on that a little bit. Like, hey, we know you have COVID, so if you go outside, we're gonna arrest you. I don't know if that's the case over there, or maybe like you're saying, it's just a warning, or maybe. Go ahead.
We get a warning. It's just like, just go home. If you got it, just stay at home.
Yeah, no, and that's the smart thing to do. I mean, like if I got sick, obviously I'm not going to go around freaking talking to everybody and spitting on people. But in Texas it's weird, dude, because we don't give a shit over here. Like I know it's not like in a like a careless way, but it's more of like a freedom thing, like liberty or death type of thing. And maybe some people think that's ignorant, but at the same time, Texas has always been like super like free, like do what you want, as long as you're not hurting nobody. The government's not going to tell us what to do. Fuck off, that type of thing. But but like you're saying, if you're sick, go home, stay home.
Yeah, so it's like Australia's fairly similar. Like we're pretty relaxed with most things. Like most Australians don't, like, we care obviously, but we're not overly for or overly against anything. We can sort of see the middle and
Okay.
But like we did have the like people buying all the fucking toilet paper.
Yeah.
We had, which is really bizarre. I don't know where that came from. I'm sure you guys are the same. You had people fucking buying. Doesn't make
it
any
was
sense.
worldwide, dude. Like we had the store called HEB. It's like a big store, like I guess whatever you would have, like a supermarket, like a big supermarket. That shit was gone, dude. Like
I don't understand it. But here's my theory on it, right? So
yeah, let me hear it.
Like look at COVID and go, like they've created this thing to control people. You know what I mean? Like there's this big conspiracy that it was man-made and then distributed to see how the world would react. We didn't do very well. If the worst thing that we did is go out and buy all the toilet paper, the government pretty much has us. They're like, next time something happens, they're just going to go out and buy all the shit tickets in the world. It's not we don't need to control it very much. You know what I mean? It's like, so this is my, like, I've always had the same argument when people keep referring back to control. It doesn't take a lot. And I think that was incredibly proven when we decided we don't need to eat, but we do need to wipe our ass a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I also think it was kind of like Tom Green had a good take on it. He said that it was like the biggest thing on the shelf, and so as sooner people started buying out that shelf, it looked empty, and so they said, "Oh shit, we need to get that for." It was like a domino effect, and everyone started buying it, and then boom, next thing you know, because they told us you're going to stay at home for 2 weeks, and I guess people were like, "I gotta wipe my ass," like, you know what I mean? So.
That was like not even on the top of my list. I was like, even at our supermarket, yeah, that's right. But even at our supermarket closest to us, it was full of like people bought out all the fresh fruit and veg, and you're like, that's not going to last very long. All the tin stuff was still there. The pack of pastas was still there, and you're like, what are you prepared for? You know what I mean? Like, but that's just like how accustomed like humans are to having access to fucking everything.
Right. Exactly.
So when this happened, they're like, I got to poo and I got to eat broccoli lots. And like all of that stuff will be done in a week. But like I said, in terms of like everybody going like, we're not going to be sheep anymore, and we're going to stand up for this tyrannical government that's fucking controlling us. You did a piss poor job, people, of proving that we're strong, united, because we went out and bought everything we didn't need to. Now the government knows to control us, just take all the toilet paper off the shelf and watch everybody freak out.
And I think that they also realize that people are so accustomed to the way they're living, they're so comfortable that goes to show about the toilet paper. Like, hey, I'm comfortable. I need to, I need toilet paper. People are just so used to being soft in a way. We're so used to going, like you're saying, going to the store. I can pay $5 and get a bunch of food for $5. If there was no food, we'd be killing each other in a week or two. I think.
Oh yeah,
it would turn into killing instantly. And most people, they have no survival instincts. We've been over the decades and centuries. We just stopped learning how to skin a buck and run a trout line and stuff like that. And I think that we need to. It was kind of like a shock. Like, hey, maybe we do need to learn that type of thing, and we do need to prep for food by like you were saying, canned goods and rice and oatmeal, things that actually last longer than a week, like lettuce or something like that. Totally unprepared, don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was a bizarre experience. It's I think whatever level you look at it, it was a very big learning curve, and I think it really defined the people who can adapt and overcome, and the people who just fall apart.
Yeah,
and I think it was very surprising the people that sort of fell apart. You guys, like I said, you guys had it like particularly bad. Australia wasn't so bad, but I remember talking to somebody about it, and it was such a confusing time for you guys, where it was this like in and out, do this, don't do this. And some people can do something, and other people can't. That was fucking crazy. And then you'd see the people telling you not to do stuff, going out and doing it, and you're like,
definitely.
why the fuck am I going to listen to you? And I think that's what created all the confusion, though, right? Like,
and the anger.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And then there's like when anybody feels like they're like they've been taken advantage of, they wanna sort of lash out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then through lashing out, you find other people that want to lash out, and then you create these
like
people lashing out and trying to fucking express their feelings through inflicting pain or damage.
And that's what it felt like, man. It felt like that bitch Nancy Pelosi. She was like, you cannot go to a salon, and you have to close down all your businesses. And then they catch her in a freaking salon getting her hair done without a mask. And that's got to piss people off, especially the people that didn't vote for her and don't agree with what she says. But that a lot of politicians were doing that over here, man. A lot of them. And the way it works over here is each state has their own rules. So you can that's where it's kind of like, that's where you're saying it kind of gets mixed up, where these people are doing something, and in Texas is more lax, and it's basically back to normal over here. But in New York, it's like lockdown, and you can't go to a baseball game, or you can't. I don't know. There's just so many different things that are like so touchy, and but over here, everyone's like, all right, we're sick of this crap already. It's killing 0.03% of people. We have all these medicines that can help now. We know not to just slap people on ventilators. They're finding out all this crap. They got the vaccine, but still other states are still taking it like it's some crazy super deadly virus. And that's why people start getting skeptical about maybe they are trying to control us. Because they can see that they can do it in blue states and stuff like that. But Texas is like super free, dude. Like, I love being in Texas, especially now, watching videos in Britain and watching cops banging down doors and saying, hey, we saw you outside without a mask, we're arresting you. Like, that's crazy to me, man. Crazy.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. It's so hard to say and define anything. Like I said, it's, for like us on this side, we have like us, like Australians, and we didn't really handle it great, but we definitely handled it better than some. But then you look at like somewhere like New Zealand, where they immediately shut everything down. I think the problem with you guys, especially with the shutdown did come, and a lot of people have brought up like the business side of it, where like businesses were going out. It's that's not it wasn't a COVID thing. That was like a really poorly designed like like a stimulus package where they were just like, we'll give you all $1,200 and you can fucking figure it out.
So stupid, dude.
And that is the craziest thing. Whereas like New Zealand, they shut everything down like immediately. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. Everything is shut down. Go the fuck home. Stay at home for 2 weeks, and we'll give you whatever you need in that 2 weeks to make sure you do not leave your house.
Really?
Like the government, yeah, 100%. And they were one of the first countries to open again.
And see, I think that's what they tried to do, but Americans, they were a little bit more hard-headed. You know, like I was saying about the Texas thing, like, no, fuck you. You know, we're going to go outside. And that's why I guess it never didn't work, you know?
But can you guys like, I remember like, I think it's just, I don't know, that's a big one. The same argument with guns, right?
Yeah.
So it's the whole, like, if you get rid of them, like things might be safer. And then Americans are always like, no, we won't. And then you know, like, how do you know? And I was like, because Australia did the exact same thing. And then they're like, no, that's dumb. And we're going to keep our guns. Isn't it Dude, not the same? Yeah, I know. You're from Texas. I know you love a gun.
I love my guns, dude. I got plenty of them. All my friends have plenty of them. We go on the weekends and we go to the shooting ranges and we have fun with them. And I sleep better at night, man. Honestly, knowing that I have a loaded pistol in a small safe next to my bed that I can access very easily. And I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like fight fire with fire. If someone breaks into my house with a gun, I got to have a gun too, you know? I can't run at them with a baseball bat.
I understand that reasoning.
Huh?
Like, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then there's also, like, I feel I sleep better at night knowing my neighbor doesn't have a gun.
But you're go. I don't know if you're.
You know, the fucking dude who just left his wife just left him,
right?
And he has a fucking shit job, and he's on the bus, and like some kids are pissing him off. Yes, I feel nice knowing that he does not have a gun.
Can you get guns there?
100% no, you cannot.
What?
We had the Port Arthur massacre, and they shut it down. They took it off everybody.
You cannot have a gun.
Nope.
No matter what you do.
Unless you like live on a farm.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's another thing too. Like people that live in rural areas, there's a lot. Texas is huge, and there's tons of rural areas in Texas, and you gotta have a gun out there, man. There's rattlesnakes. There's
like an assault rifle though.
Like yes. There's huge hogs in Texas, dude. I'm talking huge, like up to your shoulders, huge, and those fuckers will charge you, and they have big ass tusks. I know people that have been attacked by them, and you gotta fucking take them out. A pistol's not going to stop them. Big ass hogs. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they run in packs. They run in packs too, man. You know what I mean? So it's usually not just one of them. There's like 5 or 6 of them. But that goes back to, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, so using that argument, what does somebody in like the middle of LA need a gun for? Outside of protection.
To not get robbed.
Yeah, but you're going to get robbed regardless, right?
No, absolutely not. Guns prevent thousands and thousands of assaults, rapes, murders, robberies, you name it, man. And that's another thing, man. Y'all don't hear about that. They never talk about that stuff on the news. They just ignore it. But like my stepdaughter, she is gonna have a gun no matter what when she turns 18, because there's some sick fucks. I know they're everywhere, but I hear stories of all the time. People are getting abducted, women are running, jogging down the street, and some dude just decides to beat the hell out of her and kill her. And I think a gun, especially women should carry guns for sure. If you're living in a society where other people have guns, like you were saying, but
like you said, that's a fire versus like fire on fire type
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like you're saying, a man could beat up a woman way easier, than vice versa. So you need that great equalizer, which is a gun.
What if he has a gun?
The great equalizer. She has a fighting chance. If she has nothing, she's as good as dead,
But what if nobody had guns?
Then the dude can beat the shit out of the woman.
Yeah, but that's
what I'm saying. That's why I call.
We don't have a lot of people like when the guns went away, we didn't have just immediate like violence, like fist violence against
But
women.
well, I heard that the knife violence went up a lot. I don't know if that's true or not.
Like, yeah, but it's like, would you rather be somebody come at you with a knife or somebody shoot you?
I think I'd rather be shot. Because stabbing sounds like it hurts a lot more. Because you can stab me, it'll be like, oh, bleeding out. Shit. At least you get
to stab you, right? Like it's
Huh?
that be in your immediate vicinity to stab you. It's not like they could
Yes.
stab you from fucking 200 meters away.
No. So I don't know if you've heard about this. Did you hear about the police shooting that just happened in Texas, or not Texas, America, where this 16-year-old black girl had a big ass butcher knife, and she was real close range. She was gonna stab that chick in the throat or in the neck, and a cop shot her and killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about that?
No, we only hear about the big ones.
Okay, that's actually, well, you probably would have heard about it, but so all of a sudden LeBron James came out and said, "You're next." Like he was like threatening the cop, and then people were like telling LeBron, like, "Hey, dude, he actually saved another black girl's life because she was about to stab her with the butcher knife, so he shot her." You know.
And you guys have tasers?
Yes, but I don't think taser would have worked at that exact moment, because I mean, you can kill like from close range. A knife is way more deadlier than a gun in close range. So,
Is that true?
100% statistically true. Like if we were close together and you had a gun and I had a knife, I would probably be able to kill you first, and that's just because you'd have to draw, you'd have to point your hand out, or shoot from the hip, maybe if you were lucky. But you can close that gap and stab somebody a lot faster, man. And you can look that up. That's for sure true.
I will.
But that's at a close range. Like imagine trying to pick up an AR when I'm like 5 feet away from you. I have a big ass knife. I'm probably gonna win that fight. But that's
then if you got rid of all the guns and then everybody had knives, then it'd be just an equal knife fight.
which is also scary. For sure. Would you rather be stabbed or shot?
I'd rather have neither, to be honest. And I've
Oh yeah, I mean,
like,
hey,
to be fair, I've seen guns. I've never had one pointed directly at me, but I've had a few knives pointed at me.
yeah,
Nobody's used them. Nobody's gonna use a knife. Like,
yeah,
it takes some balls to stab somebody. It's very
exactly.
I was talking to a couple of my army buddies, and they're like, I wouldn't do it, and they're in the army,
Yes.
Whereas like shooting somebody is,
yeah,
it's not as personal, it's not as intimate. You can just sort of like click a button essentially,
Yeah.
and then wipe somebody off the planet.
I was just talking to my friend about that yesterday. Like stabbing, you have to be some kind of crazy to run someone through and feel you like penetrating their skin and pulling it. You know what I mean? That's a lot more intimate. And
Isn't that right though? So,
huh?
like, all right, so say if there's a law passed
Mhm.
that they've taken all your guns back, would you give them up?
Fuck no.
I love it. I love it.
I answered that real quick.
Yeah, so quick. It was already preloaded, man. It was
Yeah,
already
that-
in the chamber.
That one was in the chamber already, dude.
Fucking take it. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think anybody standing outside, it's very hard to understand. It's like for us, it's easy to understand because we didn't grow up with them. There's no gun culture in Australia, like at all. And we have that one bad time that it was very relevant.
Mhm.
And then we can only use that as a statistic. I think guns are cool. I think guns.
Yeah. Have you ever shot one?
Yeah, just
they're
a
cool.
shot. Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. It's like there's more guns in America than there are people.
Yeah, there is. I
there
think like
is.
3-1 or something.
Yeah, I have several. My friend have several, and I'm one person. Like, okay, so if guns were so dangerous, there would be no people left. We'd just be all shooting each other like crazy. You know what I mean?
That's a people problem. That's not a gun problem.
Well, it's always been a people problem. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not the guns. We just have crazy people, dude. I mean, there's just crazy people everywhere. And and like you're saying, man, it's totally fucked up that a crazy person could get a gun and shoot somebody.
All right.
But I don't think that that's fair to take my gun if one dumbass does something, and I'm a law-abiding citizen that would never, ever want to hurt anybody, but I just feel safer having one.
So if they were to be like, we're going to make getting a gun much harder, would you be up for that? Like we're going to have to like, because but from what we know over here, like the checks and balances for getting a gun is almost non-existent. You can
It's
go to a
really
gun
easy
shop.
to get a gun in Texas.
So if they were to like, we're going to buckle down, like you need to
But
wait.
but you can't
Either
though.
way.
Like how you got to be able to read someone's mind. You have to have like some minority report shit. You know what I mean? Because someone could be fine and then someone could snap. You know?
Yeah, like not allowing gun shows where somebody can just walk straight up off the street and buy a gun.
My friends went to a gun show today actually, and they bought a bunch of clips and magazines and stuff. You cannot do that.
Maybe
Actually,
not be able to get it from Walmart.
huh?
Like maybe not being able to get a gun from Walmart.
Well, there's gun stores everywhere in Texas. There's like 10 in here.
Like I think it'd be one of those things if you were to keep them and they just made it a little tougher. There has to be a system to sort of rule out these crazy people that can have access to guns.
Yeah.
Like right?
But then,
Surely, don't you think?
but that's, yeah. I mean, like I said, if there was a way to know the heart of a man, I would say yes. But there is no way. Only God knows your heart, and I feel that it's just one of those things, man, where it's hard. I mean, yes, of course, you get a background check. Like if you go to the gun show and you say, I want to buy that gun, you have to go through a background check. I forgot how it works. I think they have to send it off to you and they hold the gun until you get a background check back from the FBI. I know that's how it was for me when I got a gun the first time. And if you have felonies, you cannot get a gun, which is like a violent crime or a robbery and stuff like that. Like you're just wiped forever without having a gun. And I think that armed society is a polite society. And so there's states in America that they have tons of guns and there's like very low violence, because if you're strapped, you're not going to go up to someone and start fighting with them or try to rob them, because you know that most likely they have a gun too. So it's a weird thing, man. It's
Yeah, I have trouble understanding it. That's why I asked. It's not like a
no, I know. Yeah, you're not trying to put me down. You're just trying to understand it from Australia, which is a whole nother world, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And it is a bizarre thing, but I think that's all you hear about. Like when you're from a different country, that's all you hear about with America. You see school shootings, you see police shooting people who shouldn't have been shot. You see
people you see people shooting police too. I saw one the other day. It was like heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking.
But I think there's once again, it's like, yeah, maybe having the guns on you creates this world of sensibility, like you said, because everybody has a gun, you're not going to do anything. But it also creates like a world of perpetual fear because somebody has a gun on them. Don't you think? Like even you saying before that, like if somebody breaks into my house, like in your brain, you know that they're going to have something on them because they know you have something on you. Yes. So it's that whole gun to a knife fight thing.
That's why.
Doesn't that create like a world of fear?
No, I don't live in fear at all. I don't fear any man. I don't fear any gun. I don't fear dying. I don't fear nothing. The only thing I'm afraid of is sharks, God, and maybe spiders, because I've seen sharks. I live right next to the coast, and I've seen sharks in waves, and that freaks the shit out of me. I'm not the high dominant food chain in the ocean, so yeah. I don't. Unless I shoot the damn fish. Yeah, but like you said, it's like a culture. Like to me, it's like, oh, hey, dude, you got a new gun? That's cool, dude. Let's go shoot on the weekend. Let's go train. Let's go fire a couple bullets and just hang out. But there's those sickos that do shit.
Yeah. But it's like speed limits, right? So it's like when you look at a speed limit, you're like, my car, like even brand new cars, like my car can go faster than this and handle it very well. Mm-hmm. But you have to factor in that 1% they can't.
Yeah,
you have to kind of live to your 1%.
But I don't think you could throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I just feel, man, that guns are a way of life. It's been written in the Constitution, our Constitution, that you have the right to bear arms because tyrannical government can and will take over the people. So
Mhm.
that's why it was written, because they started the government and they're like, well, we need to arm all the citizens because even if I myself try to take over, these people can stop me because of freedom. And that's what American was based on, is just straight up freedom. And so, and that's why China won't invade us. And they've said that the reason why they can't invade America is because there's a gun behind every blade of grass. So let's just say tomorrow, China tries to storm our beaches like we stormed Normandy. They'd be fucking up because I have a lot of guns and my friends have lots of guns, and we would arm up and we would arm our neighbors and we'd arm our family members. And I know that's an extreme example, but really that's why it was written, and that's why I think it needs to stay that way, because I think America is the greatest country on the world, and it's a bastion of freedom. No offense to Australia, I think Australia is awesome too. But I don't know, man. I think that we've had a lot of wars, and we've caused a lot of wars. We've caused a lot of false flags. We've done fucked up things. Like I'm not of two minds thinking that America's perfect or that we've been a good country in ways. We've done horrible shit, and I'm not blind to that at all. But I think it's more to protect the people than to protect our government.
Yeah. So is that like the tyrannical government? Do you guys see it as your own government or other government?
Yes, our government,
But if the
my
government was,
government.
so say if the government was to turn against you guys,
Mm-hmm.
you guys realize your guns aren't going to do nothing against them. Like they have
Um,
drones, they have planes,
yes and
they have,
no, because
they
we
have
could we
giant
could
guns on boats.
potentially because I think if our government turned on us like straight up, I think our own military would turn on, because you got to remember our government is three branches of government with a bunch of stupid politicians. Like if we take those dudes over, it's over. The fight's over.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? And I guarantee you, America as a whole would probably come together just to take out those people, to stop them. And they're the ones pressing the drone buttons. But yeah, that's what I think.
Do you think that's possible in your lifetime?
I don't know, man, because I think COVID. Because I remember talking about global government, new world order, one world centralized power, and I talked about that a lot. And I never thought it could happen, but I think they used COVID to try to push that agenda further and actually implement some of that agenda, because you see all these nations coming together like China and them trying to centralize power, and it feels like they're just planning something, man. I feel like they're trying to plan something to make that nightmare come true, where they want a one world government and they want to rule everybody. Because in China, they're doing like social credit scores. They're tracking all their people. If you do something, if you cross a crosswalk wrong, that goes against your score, and you might not be able to get a bus ticket that day because you crossed the crosswalk when you weren't supposed to. And that just scares the hell out of me, man. And I don't know if it can happen in my lifetime, but it seemed more real in 2020. It didn't seem like we were just talking shit. Like it seemed more real.
Yeah, but like in terms of like another government taking you guys over, like the odds of it are fairly slim. There's no
Yeah.
such, not really too much of like big countries taking over big countries anymore.
No,
Um,
I don't. I would hope not.
are you guys more worried about infighting? I heard a lot of talk about like a civil war again.
Well, that's a very deep subject to me. I've looked into this very deeply. You have a bunch of radical leftist people that are pushing their godless agenda of inversion of truth on us. They're using racism as a weapon to beat any normal person over the head with. They're telling us that we're racist and we're sexist. If we don't want to have sex with a tranny, we're sexist and just like crazy shit, and it seems, and if you look at history, that's kind of how they destroyed other nations, like in Russia. Like they pushed a lot of stuff like that, like changing of the sex and getting rid of God. Like in the Cultural Revolution in China, they destroyed all the churches, and we know what that happened. When we know what happens when that happens, the government runs rampant and kills millions and millions of people. So I don't want that to happen again. Is my fear.
Okay. So it's like it's isn't there meant to be like a separation between like church and state? You know what I mean? Where it's like the church isn't
Yes.
meant to have too much of a run over like political influence and stuff.
Yes.
So you're saying the right side, like if you want to put it into left and right side doesn't do that, or
Um,
is it the left side that is?
no, the left side is more of the godless. Let's make boys girls and girls boys, and that type of weird inversion. Satanism is good. Pedophilia is fine. It's a sexual preference. We've heard politicians say that. We've heard prominent people say that, which to me, that sounds like Satanism, man. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of Jeffrey Epstein. That was worldwide news.
Yeah.
He ran a massive pedophile ring, and he had Bill Clinton on his plane 27 times. Um, he had a whole freaking orgy island where he was running pedophilia, and these people are sick, man. And I'm not putting it past Republicans too. I'm pretty sure there's some sick bastards that do all that kind of stuff. But if you go real deep, man, it's like it gets dark. These people are doing some crazy stuff, man, and some evil stuff. And I'm just afraid that that's just going to snowball into a godless thing. And I know that you're supposed to separate church and state, and I think that has to do a lot with like schools and judicial systems. But as far as because this place was founded with a bunch of Christian beliefs, and it's written into our Constitution, the word God and other things. And I just think that we shouldn't take that stuff out, man, because that makes good people. Even if I'm a Christian and I'm not perfect, but I think that having some belief in any God can be good for anybody, because nihilism leads to dark things, man. Nihilism, as far as thinking that there's no God and there's no judgment, and there's no, I can do anything I want, I can kill people and it doesn't matter. I think that's the problem. And I think that mental illness and pharmaceutical companies that are pumping these kids full of freaking drugs and calling them depressed. So, oh, you're depressed, we're gonna assign you like 5 different scripts. Deal with that. See where your head's at after we give you 5 different pills. And the next thing you know, they want to kill themselves and they go kill other people. So I think pharmaceuticals is also a huge problem in America.
Oh
And
yeah.
if you watch the lizard news, like CNN and all that crap, every commercial break you get 5 pharmaceutical pills. So that's why that these channels will not talk bad about the pharmaceutical companies, because that's where they get all their money, through
Yeah.
ads and stuff.
There's like several different issues in just what you said. I guess if we unpack the pharmaceutical thing, that's very true. It's very honest. Like you guys are crazy with it. It's a
Yes.
huge money. And it's not to say that we don't have the same thing here where it's easier to push a pill into somebody, but your pills are extreme. Your pills are out of control.
Yes, it's
But
crazy, dude. It's out of control.
and the fact that they can advertise it and make it look kind of fun,
Yeah.
you know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah.
Like, which is bizarre. So I agree with you on that. In terms of the pedophile rings, to be fair, that it's on both sides. It's not just a
Yes.
one
Yeah. I'm
side.
not denying that at all.
That goes well beyond political beliefs or
Yes.
political stance. It's if somebody wants to diddle a kid, they're going to diddle the kid. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they're left or right.
No.
The transgender thing is the hard one. I think people, if they don't like it, they can change it. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? No, I don't. What do
If
you
they
mean?
want to change their gender, I believe
Uh-huh.
that they should be able to.
I do
Why don't?
too. I do too.
Yeah.
But here's
So
the
what is
thing.
that?
I think once you sexualize children is the problem. If you turn 18 and you want to be a woman, go for it, dude. I'll
Yeah.
even call you a woman. But if you're going to have a 5-year-old and
Yeah.
you're basically going to tell him that he's a girl and he's clearly a boy and tell him that he doesn't have a gender and you're going to let him choose his sex when he can't even choose what time he goes to sleep, that's where I have a problem. That's where I get pissed off.
Yeah. Once again, that I think that scenario is a case by case. I don't think anybody should be pushing their own. Like, I think it's the same thing in a few cases. This is probably like that bottom 10% that I was talking about, where parents have grown up and they haven't fulfilled this notion of their life that they should be something else. You see them with like fucking those like pageant girls, and their
Yeah.
mom just fucking staunch and they're pushing them into shit. And it's the same thing with this transgender. I believe that there is a percentage of people who have pushed their children into it to get some sort of personal gratification out of it. And they're like, well, my daughter knew when she was 1 year old that she needed to be a boy. I think that's a bit far-fetched, and it's a bit out of it. There needs to be a little bit more in terms of checks and balances when it comes to stuff like this, where it's not a parental thing to decide. I think it is up to the child. But I have talked to some trans people, and they very much knew straight away that something was off and there's something wrong. I think what they need to do better is provide a mental health service for the people who feel like they need to transition. Once again, the trans thing isn't the problem. I think it's been taken and mixed on its head a fair bit, where people, the people don't understand it. And what do you do with things you don't understand? You demonize it, you hate it. It doesn't make sense. So it's a weird topic, but I think it's a case to case. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's once again, it's very different over there than it is to over here. I think you guys have a lot going on at once. You have this
Definitely
crazy tech boom. You have the thing with BLM. You have the COVID, and I think there's a world of pressure on people just in general. It's a weird, the fringe of people are not the fringe, that's probably a bad word. There's groups standing up that need to stand up that haven't stood up before, and they need help. And then there's people attaching themselves to it because they think they need to stand up as well, but they're overdoing it. They're taking the situation too far, and they're becoming violent. They're becoming angry, and they're ruining the main cause of whatever problem they're trying to fight for. And I think we can't look at that small percentage and go, well, that's all of them. Where like 90% of people are generally good. Do you agree on that? Like, do you think that I call them over helpers?
Yeah, definitely, man. They are going crazy. I think it gets to the point where they're like, it's like a fashionable thing. Like the BLM thing is like fashionable. Like, oh yeah, this is going on now, so let's burn some shit down and cause riots and stuff. And that's not everybody. I mean, there's people on the left that are pretty reasonable. But man, it's crazy, dude, because I think that it all comes down to politicians using people as pawns to gain their political views and their political power. As if you really boil it down, that's what it is. And of course, like in early Stalin days, that's what they would call them, useful idiots, because there's people they use their visceral reactions. They just react on their feelings too much. They don't sit back and they don't think about what's really going on. They just think, I'm pissed off because a black guy got killed. I don't care what we have to do. Let me go burn down a black guy's bar that he worked his entire life to get his bar going. Let me go burn that down to fight the man. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I saw a video. A black guy was standing in his bar while other black guys were smashing his windows. They walked in his building while he was crying. They took his safe out of his office on live TV. And I mean, I just, that's just inversion, dude. There's no logical explanation that somebody should do something like that. But to go back to what you were saying about the kids, I think that like you were saying, they're using them as props. Like they just use it like to tell their girlfriends, oh, my kid's a tranny. Look at my kid. I got him a new dress. You know what I mean? Like it's like almost like a little toy for them, because they've fucked up their heads somewhere along the lines in their adultship that they're pushing it onto their kids, and that's completely wrong. And I think that's a major problem in America for sure.
Yeah. It's just, I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen. There's too many people trying to define themselves as humans, and that's all we really want to do. And especially, once again, it's from the little that I know about America, there's once again a lot of people trying to define themselves in a very crowded room. And you see it, but not to say that it doesn't happen here, because it definitely does, where people are bandwagoners and they jump on things and then they become the loudest voice. But it's just particularly bad over there, where it's people jumping onto things for clout, just to give them a bit of social credit. They increase their social worth by going, well, I've done this and you haven't, and that makes me better, and now I can pass judgment.
Yes.
And like you said, that's the fucked part about most of it. It's horrible. But another thing that you said that is, I think, abundantly correct across most places. A lot of people, like, the easiest way to control people is to separate them and make them fight.
Yes.
It's the left and right argument, the black and white argument. Like, fuck, we have it here with cars, the Ford and Holden. Like, if you like one particular type of car, you're a fuckwit because my car is better than your car. And we have races about it. And it's the fucking dumbest thing ever. But for in terms of that is the easiest way to sell product, because if their car sucks and yours the best, what do you want to do? You want to go out and you buy that car, and then you buy all the clothing that goes with it, and then you go meet friends with the same fucking thing, and it makes you feel like you're wanted and accepted. And then in that part, you go, well, I want to be the best one. So you go out and you spend more money on your car, so your car's a little bit shinier than the fucking dudes next to you, and then just make enlarge that and put it to any group where it's like, these people trying to fucking outpiss each other on these, like, most of the time you guys are fighting for the same fucking thing. And then these people pepper something in there. Like you said, these politicians that'll go, but they're doing this. And you go, what? Are they? And like you said, that reaction, this explosive reactionary, like comment or action. And then it just sets off a fucking thing, because then it's the other side that's doing it. You know what I mean? And then it's that immediate, like, so I think it's that is like abundantly clear across most places. Obviously there's issues in the world and people are trying to fix them. But I think if you keep subscribing to this us and them, I think like we were saying about the control thing at the start of the argument, that is the easiest way to control people.
Yes.
You give them an us, you give them a them, and you tell them why they suck.
Yep. And like you were saying about the car thing, that's a healthy rivalry, kind of like almost like sports, like a distraction, which isn't bad, but it's a good analogy for what they're actually doing. And what's the word? Like to a violent way. Like you're saying, so they're getting two people to fight, and it's not on accident either. It's on purpose, like 100%. And that's what pisses me off, and that's what people don't see. That's why people can't break out of that, because they don't know it's on purpose, and they don't even know what's happening to them. They just think that I'm a piece of shit racist because I voted for Trump, and you're a glorified hero because you're standing up for a black person that got killed by a cop. And the bad part is, man, these big tech companies, they prey on that. They get money off of that. They love that. They'll send you all this little news in your feed to piss you off and to show, oh, look what Trump did. Look at these right wings did. Oh, look at these gun. And then on our side, it's like, oh, look at this liberal trying to make a tranny a boy or a girl, or just things that would piss off. Oh, look, they're trying to ban guns. You know what I mean? And it's all this information that's being tossed back and forth at each other to make them fight. And who's really winning? Like, why are they doing this? That's the only thing.
That's exactly what I'm saying, though. It's like these people, regardless of your left and right, there has to be a tip of a spear. We're tribalistic people where everything funnels up into something. So the people that you guys are fighting for are together. It's always been the way. You got to look at like gang culture, right?
Yeah.
Look at two separate rival gangs. You
both selling drugs.
But you don't see the leaders of the gangs going in to fight each other, do you? They discuss and they go, well, you can have this and you can have this, and we'll chill out. Who does all the fighting?
The little pawns.
It's the same fucking thing, man. They're all talking amongst themselves and they go, you can have this, but I get this.
Yeah.
And they go, yeah, okay. And then what they do is they funnel the information down. They funnel it down to a select thing. It might be your media outlets or some fucking blogger or whatever, and it passes it on. And it distributes information that way. It's the same fucking thing, man. And this is like the reason why you can sort of relate to it is because it's worldwide. Yeah. It's just the information that changes. The information is the different part. It's like everything else, like that information gets fed down the exact same way. It's just what's passed down.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what is it like in Australia? Is it like the two-party system here? Are they doing that same shit over there too?
See, ours isn't as bad. Ours isn't as like dramatized. Like there's no fucking way some fat piece of shit businessman is going, oh, they're actually all fat piece of shit businessmen. There's no way like a TV actor would be prime minister. You know what I mean? But our system is flawed as shit. We fucking know it. And it's just, you're voting for the guy that you hate the least, right? But over there, they fucking lean into it. Once again, it's this separation of two parties, and my party's better than yours because we have this one thing. But what it does is when you hear these things, like say if you're a Trump supporter, there's things that Trump will say and you go, okay, I agree with that. And there's some things that he doesn't say and you go, oh, I don't know. But then you look at the other side and you're like, but I've heard stuff that I don't agree with. So fuck them. And I agree with whatever he just said that I didn't originally agree on. And then
it's like fire. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And so like I mean, some people can't fight that. Like I was saying earlier, some people can't discern those two things. That's what I think people need to do. It's very important. They need to try to pierce the veil. They need to try to scratch the surface and not look at both sides like, let me try to think how turning a little boy into a tranny is a good thing. Let me try. No, that's just fodder for making us fight. Go past that and think about, why are they pushing that agenda? Are they trying to piss me off? Are they trying to make me fight with somebody else? And that's really what they're doing. They're trying to make us all fight. But I think that people need to just maybe open up their minds a little bit more and try to see past what this wrestling matches, because it's really like that. You see two wrestlers fighting, but backstage they're all hanging out and chilling. That's basically what it is.
The thing is, once again, it's like if you're fighting, you're not talking. There's no fucking situation in the world. If we went into this conversation and I was just fucking yelling at you for being like a gun-owning hillbilly. You know what I mean? You'd immediately shut off, or you'd stop listening to anything that I said.
Not me personally, but most people, yes.
You know what I mean?
Most people that are on the surface.
You're a fucking convict Australian. Like, you guys don't know fucking shit down there. I'd immediately go, fuck you, man. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you. And that's what they try and do, and try and push and really keep alive, because if you're fighting, you're not talking. And if you can't talk, then you can't. How do you understand somebody if you're not having a discussion with them?
And I think that's more on the left that aren't willing to talk, because a lot of times there's some things that we will never agree on, like the kids thing that will never be agreed upon. But there are things that we can agree on. And I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where Trump supporters and a bunch of just people on the right, mostly they go up to people on the left and they try to have a conversation with them, and they just refuse to talk to them. I don't know if it's because they're NPCs where they're just like blank. They don't really think past square one, and they have nothing really to say except go along with whatever chant they're chanting that day. But I wish that these low information people, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but they would try to seek more information, because I feel like any person that really wants to know the truth would find out something more about the other side if they bother to look. But like we were saying earlier, the Facebook and all that stuff, they don't want you to look at that stuff. That's why they hide the Jeffrey Epstein story. That's why they're hiding the Hunter Biden laptop story. They don't want people to see that, because if they did see it, it would be like a moment where they're like, oh shit, like maybe these things are real, and maybe these right-wing gun freaks aren't making this shit up. Because I've seen pictures on that laptop, and it is fucked. Like Joe Biden's son is fucked, and
Yeah, but it's like to hold Joe Biden against it without any proof, or you know what I mean? It's like I think that really plays into it, and you go, one person did it, they're all doing it, or they all know, or they're all, you know what I mean? It's
yeah, but the only thing about that in specific is there's emails that were out that said we're holding half the money for the big guy, and there was a guy that wrote that email or was connected to that email that says, yes, Joe Biden is the big guy, and his son was flying on Air Force Two to China in some greasy ass deals. So there's a lot of things. I know what you're saying. You can't blame the father for the
yeah,
son's sins. I
but,
know exactly what you're saying.
yeah,
But in
but
that, go ahead.
wasn't Trump friends with Jeffrey Epstein?
Trump knew Epstein. He's never been on his plane. He's never been to his island. As far as the Black Book logs,
Yeah,
the people that said that Trump was friends with him said that he kicked Epstein out of Trump's Mar-a-Lago because he busted Epstein hitting on younger women. Um, Trump also was willing to cooperate with the FBI when he wasn't president about Jeffrey Epstein. Now, that's all I know. As far as a lot of people said that at Epstein's party, Trump's had been to him, and Trump was like, wasn't feeling it, and he took off in his own plane at like a some kind of party. But I'm not saying Trump is completely clean. I don't know behind closed doors if he's done anything like horrible like that. On the surface, it looks like Trump was just a playboy that liked to bang hot models, and he's just one of those American. Everyone loved Trump. Excuse me. Everybody loved Trump before he became president. Snoop Dogg loved Trump. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the roast of Donald Trump. Everyone loved Donald Trump, and the news made him racist, and it was that easy. And yeah, man, I don't know about if Trump. If I found out for 100% fact that Trump was a pedophile, I would say hang that motherfucker. So I'm not in a cult. Like, I voted for Trump,
yeah,
but I will stand with my morals and my beliefs on that one.
yeah. But like I said, once again, it's all hearsay until proven, right? Like
Yeah.
the Trump thing. It's like there's enough, almost enough information to go like he was there a lot, but not enough to really cement it.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to take his word for it. But couldn't you say the same with Joe Biden?
Um, as
Like
far as, well,
there's shit
I'm
there.
not
There's
saying that
definitely
Joe Biden's a pedophile. I'm just saying, as far as greasy money deals, there's a lot of evidence that
plus you
he
can't
was
say
involved.
because
Huh?
the fucking Secret Service will be at your house in like 6 minutes.
I'm not saying that. Please do not kick my door in.
I'm banging on your door. I'll get one. Like 24 hours. I get people knocking on my door.
Oh
But
shit.
it's all a bit iffy, man. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
too much of this shit out there to say that it isn't, but there's just not enough. There's like obviously these guys they're very intelligent. They've got a lot of control and a lot of power. But I think they're all in the same fucking thing, man. I think they're all in the same pot. You can't say that they've been hanging out. Man, if I rocked up at a party and I saw somebody hitting on a 14-year-old girl, or there was 14-year-old girls there at my adult friend's party, I would never go back. Like you wouldn't
Yeah,
get it. So the
for
fact
sure.
that some people kept going back makes it immediately questionable. You know what I mean? It's like you yourself as a human, if you went to your mate's party and there was nothing but 15-year-old girls there,
That'd be fucked. I'd
you'd be
leave.
done. You'd be
Yeah,
finished.
yeah,
I'm not talking to you guys again. You can get the fuck out of my life.
yeah. But that at that specific thing, it was Trump. Epstein was hitting on a girl that worked at Mar-a-Lago, like a 16-year-old waitress or something like that. In that
Yeah.
specific thing. But I do agree with that. Yeah, if you went to a party, and that's another thing because Trump one time said he likes him young. I know Epstein. He likes him young.
Isn't that
So
fucking crazy? But he knows that, and he's
I
still.
that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe Trump did know. I don't know. Maybe maybe he knew. Maybe that's why he got busted during the Trump administration.
Yeah. Also, you could say that too. It's one of those things. It's we're I think as a public, we're never gonna know. Like, how
No.
the fuck are you gonna know what's happening behind door? It'll come out sooner or later, but these people will be dead and gone, man.
Yeah.
They'll be so fucking far gone. Oh well, it doesn't matter, but it
Yeah.
does. It matters a lot. It's that's fucking crazy though. And to be fair, to say it doesn't happen here in Australia would be ignorant. Like,
Right. No, it's a global problem for sure.
it definitely is, man. Like, I think there's like a statistic saying that slavery is worse now than it ever has been in terms of
Yes.
sex slaves, underage sex slaves, people
Mhm.
kidnapping children,
For sure.
them off. Me and my partner were watching a thing last night where they hit up Instagram models and they go, look, come and stay at our hotel for free. And all you have to do is post some photos. And then when the girls rock up, two seedy dudes pick them up and they're never seen again.
Oh, really?
It is. It's still out there, man. And it happens
Dude.
all the fucking time. But once again, it's like, if they wanted, I don't know, man. If they wanted to stop it, it would be stopped. Like if
Yeah, for sure.
we've got, like, once again, we live in the best time in terms of technology, in terms of medicine, in terms of information, in terms of everything. We live in the best time, and shit still happens. And you kind of like,
Yeah.
like, why is it happening? It's a global thing, man. It's people all have their finger in the pie, and they all want to keep it going for some reason, because they either do it themselves or they fucking know somebody who does it. For sure.
Exactly. I think that, yeah, exactly. I think that it's almost a currency, the pedophilia, once you get to a certain level. There's so many missing kids that go missing in America, like thousands and thousands and thousands of them, and we don't have no fucking clue what happens to them. I live a few hundred miles from the southern border between Mexico and Texas.
Yep.
And it's fucking crazy right now, dude. Like, I don't, there's lots of videos on, there's a website called band.video. They've shown videos of, unmarked planes with unmarked buses, buses rolling up to the planes, filling up people, taking them God knows where. There's pictures of these strange women with cartel tattoos all over their legs, dealing with children, having children in their hands, taking kids into cars, just shoveling kids into the cars. There's videos of little kids all over the place, laying on the floor in the dirt. There's videos of Border Patrol agents saying, yes, these kids are being raped constantly and they're being trafficked. But I mean, it's like stigmatized, dude. Like, nobody wants to hear it. It's just dark, you know?
I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was a reference that I heard. I think it was through like another podcast, where it's like, you see all this fighting that we're doing now, and it's irrelevant when you think about it. There's some stuff that really needs to be handled, but we're kind of bickering at the moment. And it's because times have been so good. But also the fact is, once again, if you can control people by what they're arguing about, it really deters you from fucking looking into shit like this stuff is still happening. It's like the war on drugs. It was a perpetual thing, organized and set up from the start, and it made people believe that they were safe and they were fine, when in reality everybody was fucking in on it. Everybody had their fucking their finger in the pie, and everybody allowed it.
Yes.
And then they just blame one dude and they'd go do something about it. And
The low
it's the
level.
same thing with this shit. With the like Jeffrey Epstein was just that guy that they blamed.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
He was a branch manager.
Yeah,
He
that's
wasn't
right.
he wasn't the main guy. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's in jail. No one's seen her. No one's heard anything about it. It's been over a year. I haven't seen no mugshots. I haven't heard any information. Epstein got murdered in jail, if you ask me. Like you're saying, he did.
100%
for sure.
he did.
I mean,
But once again, it's like here's this big apparent thing, and it's right in your fucking face, and it could expose these people, and then they go, "But you guys should fight about this," and you guys go, "Yeah, okay," and you guys start fucking fighting about something over here, and you completely forget who's mentioned Jeffrey Epstein in the last like 3 or 4 months. Nobody. But before, it was fucking everywhere on the internet. It was always like he did not kill himself. Like there's so much proof that he didn't.
Yes.
And we're so preoccupied. And once again, it's not to take away from these causes. Like there's certain things that need to be fought for. But if you can get people to fight over that, then you're not worried about what's happening.
Yeah, it's a diversion. I don't want to argue with fellow Americans. I want to know what the fucking government's doing. I want to know what's up with these pedophile rings. I want to know what's up with these sex smuggling. I want to know what's up with these drug runners. I want to know what the hell's going on. I mean, Bill Clinton was one of the main politicians, not to keep harping on Bill Clinton, but Bill Clinton did some greasy shit. In Alabama, he was basically flying in freaking cocaine in his state. Tons of cocaine was getting in through that state. And then the crack epidemic happened. And then they had Freeway Rick Ross, a black guy that came out and completely exposed everything, telling everybody that the government was straight up giving me money to distribute all this cocaine to pay for black ops operations. And that shit's in the books. So what the fuck? Like, why isn't everybody going off on that, you know?
Because why'd you forget? Because then they created an epidemic out of it. And then they started to vilify fucking like black people, and it was only in black communities, even though it was equally in white communities. And then it was a distraction. Like, look, it's these guys. That's what they're doing, not
it's
us.
Over here. It's a sleight of hand, you know.
When 100% they knew what was happening. There's been so many things come out about the CIA using the cartels and shipping guns off elsewhere to help with the, like, I think it was like the Irani war, the
Fast and Furious
war. You know, yeah, that's right. And so many things, but what do you do?
Nothing. We can talk about it, at least for now.
What you do is you fight about silly shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely, man. It is definitely a distraction. I even think sports are a distraction in a way. They just want to keep us occupied with stupid shit.
But this is every single time I have the argument with somebody about control. I'm like, look at your week. Look at your Monday to Sunday. I'm like, what do they do? 5 days a week, which is an optimal time to drive somebody into the ground. 38 hours of your day, the 3-8, 8 hours sleep, 8 hours play, 8 hours work. Like that is dog shit.
I'm living in the Truman Show for sure.
That does not make any fucking sense. And then what do they do at the end of the week? What's near your place? Bars, clubs.
Yeah.
Fucking, and then most people go out and they'll drink on the Friday or the Saturday. Sunday's recovery or catching up. And then they go immediately back to their job on Monday morning.
Yeah, dude, it's hell. I don't want to live that way. I have to. I'm trying to do podcasts. I know unless you're Joe Rogan, you're not rich doing it, you know.
None of them. But do you find that odd as well?
Fuck yeah. Yes, 100%.
There's a handful of podcasters that will come out and make any money. But why? Because podcasting is a free platform.
Yeah.
You can't stop it. You can't take it off every platform. Like it's going to get through to one. How many places do you put this on?
I have 3 or 4 right now. It's iTunes, Spotify. I'm trying to be on Pandora, and I think there's a couple other ones that I'm on.
Are you going through Buzzsprout?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a bunch, right? And like, how are they going to take it from from all. There's going to be one that's like, fuck you. Like, don't just let them say what they want to say.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And this is why, like, out of like, I think there's only 2 million podcasts in the world, which
Really?
is crazy low. Like,
Yeah, that is low.
Look at how many YouTubers there are going around like pissing on people, fucking trying to fight MMA fighters, and it's a distraction. It's
For sure, man.
like let's go watch, this is like a 25-year-old, go be an asshole to some other person, and
Yeah.
like, oh, that's fun and entertaining.
Yeah, let me watch that for let me watch YouTube for 5 hours because I have nothing better to do. I'm not gonna read a book. Why the fuck would I read a book when I can watch this asshole prank people?
Yeah.
That type
Why would
of thing.
why would I talk to somebody else on the other side of the planet and gain a little bit of perspective when I can watch, somebody play a video game for 10 hours, or
Yeah.
it's the same fucking thing, man.
Yeah. And I just wish people would try to gain more knowledge. And I'm not the smartest person in the world, but there's one thing I do, and I love to research history. I love to go deep, even on conspiracies, because a lot of them are real. I'm sorry, 1 second.
Do your thing. Guess I'll talk amongst myself. Getting really deep on the conspiracies here. A little too deep. Almost like the government's going to hear this and come and take us away.
I'm sorry, dude. My freaking cat keeps meowing, and my girlfriend banged on the door. I probably shouldn't have locked it. But
sus. You're doing something wrong. You can't be locking doors in your house. That's a straight up no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thoughts and feelings, and I think with conspiracy theories, I think they pep up, like you said. There's a lot of that are real and that are based on something. But then there's a lot that they sort of throw in there to make it look like you're nuts. And it's very hard to critical think and define what's different. I just got a message. Do you do vaccinations? And what's up with 5G? Do you believe in the 5G thing?
I believe that 5G is also, I think it's somewhat dangerous. I've talked to a person that worked on a 5G tower, and he kind of freaked me out. He told me, I asked him, is that thing really dangerous? And he said, do not get in front of it.
Oh yeah, at all. But that's
so that alone freaks me out. Obviously there's airwaves, there's things in the airwaves that are harmful for sure. I mean, I've heard studies of Wi-Fi itself going through people's bodies, causing infertility and all kinds of things. We don't see those things, but we're being constantly bombarded through different sources of energy through our body that are harmful.
That's human nature. That's not even just 5G. That's radio. That's
for sure.
Other the billion signals that are being shot from fucking around the planet, or even me and you talking is
who knows? I'm probably going to get cancer from sending a signal through my brain right now. But as far as thinking 5G is causing coronavirus, I don't think so, man. Some people think it does, but I don't think so.
But then everybody would have it, right?
Yeah, probably. The 5G. The 5G thinks that it's gonna like kill everybody. I don't think so. I don't think it's necessarily good. I mean, 4G is fine. Why do we have to do 5G?
5G makes my gaming better.
Does it? Because my 5G sucks. Like it doesn't even work good. Really?
And we have shit internet here, but it does definitely make it better.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And on the vaccine things, dude, that's a wormhole right there, dude. I will not take a fucking vaccine.
Were you vaccinated?
Huh?
Were you vaccinated as a child?
Probably fucked me up some way or another. I don't know. If you listen to one of my recent podcasts with my friend Andy, he explained how the doctors would not help his newborn baby, because he refused to give his baby a hepatitis shot. And he asked the doctor, why am I giving my baby a vaccine for a party drug? And the doctor told him to get out. And so he literally kicked him out. And that goes back to how we were talking about pharmaceutical companies having free reign on us. as far as doing whatever they want to us and making money, making a profit. I don't think you have to take every vaccine. But I also don't think that all vaccines are 100% bad. The ones that have been studied for decades and decades, maybe there's some good, like the polio vaccine was once good. I will not take a coronavirus vaccine. I will take my chances. I don't think that they should force us to take the vaccine. That is medical tyranny. I refuse to go along with that. Um, if you're telling me the vaccine is only to prevent me to get coronavirus, fuck off. I'm not gonna let you alter my DNA and put some weird alloys in baby fetal tissue and liquids that I don't even know what the hell they are and shoot them into my body. I'm not cool with that. And this whole vaccine to travel is complete bullshit. I don't think this vaccine is deadly enough for merit for that at all, as far as vaccines are concerned.
Yeah, it's I'm like the ones for the babies. I get. I don't know. I don't want to say it, but I'm a bit iffy about the one. I'm a bit iffy about the coronavirus one for some reason. I don't know
Dude, it's
why.
killing people, bro, left and right, and it killed Hank Aaron. It killed that famous boxer. They won't outright and say it, but I mean, dude, if you're dropping dead 2 days later, I mean, come on, you know. I know people that have died from it. It doesn't, and it's like peanut butter, dude. Like if you give everyone in the world a peanut, some people are gonna die
Yeah,
because people have severe peanut allergies, right?
yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just a numbers game. People are gonna get sick. People are gonna react different to it. They're gonna have hives. They're gonna go paralyzed. You know what I mean? They're all kinds of shit. And I don't think that we should be forcing that on people. And I think that has a huge role in this whole global takeover is the vaccine, and it's also pushing towards their new world order agenda, as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe one government for the whole world won't be so bad.
I don't know, dude.
I'll put it out
Stalin
there.
tried it. Hitler tried it. It didn't turn out too well for him or a lot of other people. So,
But like, wouldn't like say a select group of like world leaders working to push humanity forward?
that sounds nice, but
But
you
it's
got to
just like
remember.
because you got to think the way we look at like this worldwide government would be that there's one person at the top of the top. We're very in this pyramid-esque hierarchy type thing where it's like what if there was like say 10 people and it came down to a majority vote type thing and that helped the world.
But we've tried it, dude. We've had kings. We had Stalin. We had Hitler.
Yeah,
We had Pol Pot.
yeah,
We had Mao. You know,
but those are people like trying to control their own towns and cities and all of this. But it's
but men are fallible. If you give that much power to one person, it doesn't work, dude. I think
what if you give it to 10?
I we what's the number? What's the cutoff? Why 10?
Why not 20?
Why not 20? Why not
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
I think the thing is, I think there's a better system out there. I just think we don't know it yet.
that's fair.
David Attenborough should run the world.
Who's that?
David, he's almost done.
So that's fair. I think that's a good outlook. Maybe there is something, you know,
There has to be a
but
better system. What
yeah,
we're doing.
but utopia
Because
never works.
like
You know?
men are incredibly fallible, and when you put like a man in charge of the world's biggest and strongest army and go,
Yes,
don't
and
fuck
it
it
goes
up,
south. Yes, it goes south.
incredibly quickly. So you know what I mean? So it's like obviously the system I think that's the problem with it. Now I think maybe you'll get it and people will go like, but what's a better solution? And you go, I don't know. And then you're like, your argument's stupid. It's not stupid. It's just, it's not there yet. It's just not.
Yeah.
I don't think we're there as a human race to be able to go, or this way is definitively going to be better. And here's why.
And I think there is one ruler, and I think it's Jesus. Regardless of if you're a Christian or not, I think I am a Christian. I believe in God. I think that Jesus will one day rule everything, and that will be the perfect system that we're looking for. I know.
Tyranny.
um, Maybe that will be the final solution. If God created everything and He's the one ruler, He's the true King. Maybe that's what we're looking for, but we don't know it.
I think it'd just be aliens.
Do you believe in aliens?
100%. Yeah.
When
But what do you mean? What do you mean by aliens?
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, do you believe like any living microorganism throughout the universe, or are you talking higher intelligences?
See, that's sort of where it defines. Like the first one definitely is 100%. We are not the only living thing in this universe at all.
Okay.
Like can't be. In terms of higher intelligence, there's things to say yes, and there's but we are very I don't know. You need to see it to believe it, kind of thing. But it'd be pretty ignorant to say that there's something out there that isn't as smart or smarter.
Well, I'm of two minds of it. I think there's this famous quote that I forget who says it. It's either there is something out there or there's absolutely nothing, and they're equally terrifying.
That's exactly right.
And yeah. I love that quote. And I think it's possible either way.
I think there's once again, in terms of like conspiracies and theories are based on it, you can look at it either way. And there's like heaps of things that like we'll put here as an experiment to see what we would do. People are like, aliens are too scared to come here because we're violent. There's the other one that we are the first and we are set to populate the universe.
That's a good one.
That's why things like what we do in terms of finding land and finding place to put down roots is so fucking deeply ingrained into our genetics that we are the people that populate the universe. And then there's different variations of humans, but it all stems from us. So there's that way to look at it. But once again, it's what would you prefer?
I've heard them all.
Being alone, being alone or being the small fish.
I would like to be alone because you know why? Because I think that would make life so much more precious, and I think that maybe people would respect life a little bit more if we knew that.
I think it'd be the other way around. If we knew that there's something bigger and badder out there, we would get our shit together immediately. If something came from the sky that threatened, because you got to look. It's like people are threatened by taking my land, taking my, my neighbor fucking cutting over, like his dog shitting on my lawn. Yeah, that pisses people off. It's a territorial thing. So I think if something came out of the sky that was a genuine threat,
we would just find a new enemy to fight.
We're like, all right, let's
go kill them. Yeah,
that's exactly what we would do. That is the first thing, and then we'd get their spaceships, and then we would go around just fucking street fucking every planet in
Star Wars style.
Oh, we'll take it. We are the bad guy in Star Trek. It's humans. We're going around taking everything we need, fucking shooting guns in the air,
for sure,
on our fucking space horses.
But I think another problem is people don't realize how big space is. I think that's underappreciated throughout the whole entire human race. People have no earthly idea how far even the next star is and how impossible it is to get there. If you travel at the speed of light, it takes thousands, I think millions of years to get to the next star. And that is like 500,000 miles a second or I think faster. So we don't have anything that can go that fast. And to think that aliens figured that out, I can't accept that. Because scientists say that light is the fastest thing in the universe, hands down. That is the fastest thing that moves in the entire universe. So if an alien has mastered to go faster than that, I can't, man. I can't. So my only other option is wormholes or other dimensions or teleportation. I don't know if that's possible, but I'm just trying to think logically. Okay, if they can't get here, how else could they do it? But if they can't travel that far, that fast, How else can they get over here if they are getting over here? And my bet would be dimensions. And also dimensions also play into God as far as I'm concerned. There's other dimensions that we can't see, like radio waves. We can't see that, but we know it's real. You know what I mean? And so there's other kinds of dimensions, I think, for sure. And if they are traveling through other dimensions, it could just be demons popping in and out, or aliens. I don't know, man. No one knows, but that's my thought on that subject.
Yeah, but it's I think it's one of those things. It's like if we use human like logic to solve like how aliens would get around it, it falls apart. But if you look at it like look at 100 years ago, you know, like we had nothing, and look at us now. It's insane.
I agree with that.
That made. So
I
it's
agree
like
with
who's
that.
to say that they're not well, one slightly ahead, two took a slightly different path. Like we've been on a very set path for a while as humans. It's expand and continue to expand and continue to further our thing. And but what we've done is we've peppered war in there, which has held us back a great deal in terms of
for sure.
Like, imagine all the great minds that have been murdered or killed or blown up
or people that could have been that were killed, or babies that were aborted that could have been, you know.
But maybe it's like maybe they don't have that, and maybe they've in terms of like they haven't had the war, so they don't have guns and they don't have, but they figured out how to get across the universe.
Yeah, well, scientists come up with shit and then they change it a month later all the time. So I also don't think that the scientific rules are 100% accurate. I think that the rules are meant to be broken. I mean, if I believe in Christ, I have to believe that God broke the laws of physics, you know, as far as coming back to life and turning water into wine and things like that. So by that standard, I have to believe that it's possible that aliens can break physics too, and you know, and maybe come here through a wormhole or another dimension. So all that is, I love to think about all those different types of things. And being a Christian, you would think that I would just shun all that stuff, but I don't. And I used to, but now I love to open my mind a little bit and take everything, you know, take everything in, because it only makes me smarter and only makes me see things for what they are and what they could be.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it. You just said abortion. Do you believe in abortion? Do you think people should be able to have abortions? This is going to be a big one. Oh, here we go.
That one I wasn't loaded for.
As a Christian man, do you think? No, that's
yeah. I think no. I think no. You shouldn't be able to have abortions. To an extent. I think maybe I know. Like I said, no one's perfect. We're all sinners. In a perfect world, no, 100% never. But we're not in a perfect world. I think having an abortion when the baby's like when the baby has a heartbeat, now for sure no. I think after the baby's starting to form, no. I think maybe like right at like say the next day you take a pill. I still don't like that, but I would say that's not okay, but I would have to live with that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a girlfriend that had an abortion. I was torn up about it. I wanted to have that baby, but she just did it. And to this day, I don't have a child. So, and I've tried. So that fucked me up, you know. I want a child and I don't have one. And I feel like that was my only chance to have a child. And that got taken away from me.
Did she tell you why she had it?
We were just young. She just because she didn't feel she was old enough, I guess.
Can you understand that though? I think
no, because I talked to her like 10 years later, and she said that she wishes she had that kid.
Yeah.
So I think we make decisions rationally and viscerally, and I think we should not just go with what's easiest. I think sometimes we need to take the hard road. And
it's very hard to say though. It's like it's hard to say. Like where do you draw the line with that one? Like in terms of that, you have no idea how your life would have turned out if you had that kid. And to be fair, it could have been exponentially worse. Like it could have been a world of pain and hurt. But you
But
just don't
how?
understand,
Not. But how though?
you don't
Bringing
understand
in.
how. Yeah, well, it
I
could have
mean,
been.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
I
you
don't. I
believe,
don't.
like I think believing in God and believing that things happen for a reason shouldn't that apply some weight into that argument?
I don't know. I don't know why God did that to me. I don't know. I don't. I believe that God doesn't have a moral authority. God has no one to answer to. He is the main judge. You know how we have, if we do something wrong, we have to answer to a court. We don't understand the mind of God. God's mind is unfathomable. Our feudal brains can't handle that kind of thing. But I don't know, man. That's just a question that you can't have answers to. And I cursed God when that happened.
Mhm.
I wrestle with God sometimes. I sometimes even don't know if he's real or not. But at the end of the day, I just accept it because I want something better. I think that people do have souls, and after you die, that's not the end. I'll be right on the money about exactly what happens, but it's hard for me to believe that when you die, there's blackness, and you go nowhere, and you just rot into the ground, and it's like oblivion. That's hard for me to accept.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
About dying.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say. It's one of those, like, where do you apply logic and then where do you apply emotion? Like emotionally, you want to believe that there's something after. I don't believe in a heaven and hell. I don't believe
Mhm.
in the fact that you can make a mistake in your life and you have to pay for it for eternity. Um, I think it's
I've
a
been
bit.
struggling with that one too.
I
Um,
think it, I think it's a bit far fetched. I think it comes from what's inside. Like if it was to exist, I don't believe that there's a set of fucking rules that you
uh-huh.
have to abide by to have access to this fucking this.
Yes.
Well, I think it
Yeah.
comes down to who you are as a human, and
Yes.
I think if God, what we perceive as God, is all knowing and all seeing, he should be able to see through actions and see morality and
Yes.
and and whatever else. So, but I believe, I don't know. I think I believe in like universal energy. I believe everything does happen for a reason, and everything is perfectly balanced. Everything, whatever happens good, there's an equal part that happens bad, and then there's a solid thing in the middle. The only reason why I say that is because you can just look at people. There's always 10% here, 10% here, 80% in the middle, that are varying degrees of good and bad and everything in between and mixed. So it's like after you die, I believe you just get released back into this universal power. The only reason why I say that, I was very big on like once you die, you're dead.
Yeah.
But once again, that is a logical part of me that kind of goes, well, then fuck it. Like if I'm going to die, it may
Right.
as well
That's
be done.
nihilism.
But then I went to a psychic, and there's a weird thing. Like she was pretty spot on, and it kind of opens your head to like how do they know?
Right.
Like how is it?
It's like a glimpse into another dimension, or maybe something
Yeah,
that
that's
you
right.
that you didn't want to accept, and
That's
you
exactly.
actually saw it for yourself.
So then there's a part now that you start to question. I think it's incredibly rigid to just believe one thing and not allow another
Yeah.
thing into your life. So I don't know, man. I like to believe the dimension thing too, that you live forever just in different periods of time and it just gets passed on to something else. Like not a reincarnation per se, but like it reverts you back to a specific period of time and you just do it,
I-
over and over.
And I
Uh,
think that's cool because as we get older, I feel like we revert back to whatever we were against because it's like we went opposite ways. Like you said
mm,
that you just straight up you dead, that's it, you blackness, and now you're kind of leaning towards maybe there is something else. And I did
yeah,
the opposite. You're a Christian, you're gonna burn in hell forever if you don't accept Christ. And now I'm getting to more where you used to be. Is
yeah,
maybe that I don't think that's fair that if you didn't believe in God or Jesus exactly, then you deserve to burn in hell. I'm starting to think, okay, if God knows your heart, um, then he'll let it slide. Like, hey, Josh is a really good dude. He didn't do all this crazy shit. He didn't really believe it 100%, but you did well. So, come on in, that type
yeah,
of thing. Maybe it's not as hardcore as, you didn't accept Christ, you're going to burn in hell for eternity. And that's where I kind of shifted to throughout my life.
Yeah. So I think, I think religion, once again, there's something that we can't explain, and there's something that we all feel, and this whole, like, everybody to an extent believes that things happen for a reason, and you can't really go that, like, at the time you kind of say it, but then you kind of feel like you say it to sort of justify it in your brain. But I think there's things that we can't explain and things that we don't know.
Do you
I
think that
think
there's an architect though? Like, because you were saying that things happen for a reason and this happens because of this. Do you think that's random, or is there maybe an architect that creates all these things?
it can't be. There's, but that's fucking hard. I've had this argument with so many people about in terms of like free will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody has their argument about it, but I
Yeah.
believe it's like both. There has to be a sense of free will.
Yeah.
It's like, here's your path, right? And it is just wide enough for you to move. And you're allowed to move within it, and every movement you make decides the next set. But you can always get back onto your path, whether you want to or not. And I think you can feel it inside yourself when you know you're not on your path. You feel anxious. Depression kind of sets in. There's a bit of sadness and unknowing, that you know you're not doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah. But that too, is that something metaphysical? You know what I mean? It's that thing, it's that feeling that you can't explain, and it's there though. So those are those little snippets that when I hear something like that coming from someone that it has your same beliefs, I feel like that might be that thing that it's there, but you're not accepting it as my thing, but it's still there. You know, like I would think you cannot believe in God, but that doesn't make it real, or that doesn't mean that he doesn't exist. But I'm not condemning nobody by, and I don't condemn anybody and anybody's belief, but that's just my perspective on hearing things like that.
But yeah, that's exactly right. It's what you perceive as God. And once again, I think people believe in something on varying levels, and the idea of God has been taken under a religious view. And I'm not saying religion is bad or horrible, but you can kind of you can kind of go, look, there's these set of structures and beliefs based off this feeling that we all have.
Right. Yeah.
Like the God and the devil can be easily attributed to human thoughts. Mm-hmm. You get stuck in a situation, you pick right or wrong. You pick a situation that you know, a path that you know is going to be right, and you pick a path that is going to be wrong, and then you decide, right? Yeah. So we've all been in situations where you've had to decide between something that is inherently bad and inherently good. Yeah. That can be attributed to the devil.
Yeah.
And God. This good and bad. Mm-hmm. And then once again, it's like death. It's like, all right, I believe there's a bit of religious control when it comes to death. People shouldn't fear death. Why do we fear death? It's only because we don't really know. And then what we do know about it is there's this strict set of rules that will dictate whether you go and live happily ever after or you fucking die. And I think if you live in any type of world, you believe that your life can be better. There's nobody out there who goes, I wish my life was worse. And there's nobody out there who doesn't wish their life was a little better. So when you get to the end and you go, I really just start making decisions to be good or bad, because there's a little part of your brain that's been fucking ingrained with this thing saying, if you fuck up, I'm putting you in this fiery pit. And I think that's bullshit. I think it is. I understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's bullshit for people like Hitler or Pol Pot or Mao. I think that there has to be a judge. There has to be something that doesn't let these people get away with this shit. Why were they able to start in the first place if there was a God?
I think maybe because God does not interfere with our lives. I think he lets us pick and choose what we do. That goes back to our feudal brains trying to understand what God is, or what the feeling, like you were saying, like the devil or God. We just know there's something there, that feeling. We know that feeling, but it's religions are just our feudal minds trying to figure out, I think it's this, I think it's that. but we really don't know what that is. We don't know what consciousness is. We can't explain it. It's just one of those things, you know. And it's so crazy that no one really knows when you die what happens. And in a way, everyone knows that's died what happens. And it's just a great thing to ponder on, man.
Yeah, but like I said, and it's always going to be the question, right? And I think there's like a world of answers at the end. I think everything you can think of, once you're in that certain scenario where the lights are about to turn off, everything is clear and everything is defined. But I think for somebody to take that and go, but you have to live under these fucking rules to be welcome in my house.
And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of Christianity. It's not really like that. It's just like, you know, accept Christ. That's the only thing. There's no rules.
There's extreme cases of it, though, right? There's definitely extreme sects of any religion, where they are. Do you know how I was talking about before, where it was like, all right, like I'm in this particular group, this Holden Ford thing, but my Holden's a little better, and then they go, but my Holden has this. Right. It's the same fucking thing in religion, where it's like, I'm a little bit more religious than you because I follow these rules. And then when you run out of rules to follow, there's some other guy who wrote some new rules. Yeah. And you want to be his buddy, and you want to be a little bit more Christian than the other person, so you follow it.
Yeah,
and that's where it creates extremists in any religion. Though.
Look at the Catholics, like you're saying.
Any of them. But I got taught like it was a good saying. It's like all rivers lead to the same ocean. So it's like the thing is like God is the ocean, and then
that's a good analogy.
And they all lead to the same fucking point.
Right.
And if you get to the core message of all of these religious figures, it's like, just don't be a cunt.
yeah, for sure. And you know what I mean? Yeah.
And then other people are like, all right, I'm not a cunt now. All right, but what else can I do to make myself a little bit better
and help other people?
So this is why I don't believe in this the concept of like, you know.
Yeah. No, rules. That's fine.
And the thing with like Hitler, I think it's to look at it and go, he's going to get punished later.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's kind of wishful thinking, but if I was writing the rules, I would definitely make that happen.
You'd want to, but wouldn't there be like a world of understanding from this all-knowing, all-seeing thing? And then wouldn't there be an aspect of like this human nature or humanity as a whole needed to go through this horrific experience to grow?
Who knows, dude? And I wonder about that too. I wonder maybe that had to happen for something else to happen.
And Hitler was just a catalyst for it all. It was just that.
I mean, in a way, it's true because we as Americans stole some of the scientists from Hitler. You know about that?
You guys stole a lot more, I reckon. You guys stole a lot more than the scientists. You guys took the propaganda people.
Oh yeah, man. The
other people.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and then like you're saying, Hitler forced his scientists to create these massive killing machines, and then you could say that pushed the human race forward because he made the V2 rocket, and then we stole that. We stole that scientist, Werner von Braun. You can look this up if you don't believe me. We took Werner von Braun, which made the V2 rocket. We took him to America. We gave him a job. They started NASA. So that right there, you know, that's proof that I think Hitler's a fucking monster, but that just changed the course of history. I don't know, but of course, you know.
And that's what I mean about like this weirdly, like, how do you say we're not on a path like this predetermined path?
It seems like it, right?
It has to be this world of balance, right? Where it's like right now, in terms of like, say the first like 60 years of the 1900s leading up into the 60 years prior. So from 1900 to 1960 was a world at war, like World War One,
crazy.
Vietnam. It was just fucking ultimate death and destruction. And once again, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen now, but if we didn't have that, where would we be as humans? Like, Did we need to go
I
through
agree
it?
with that. I agree
And
with
are
that.
we now at the part where we're cleaning up the mess from it, and we're starting to figure everything out, and things get better from here? But then what's to say that the following 60 years after this one isn't going to be another 60 years of world pain?
Death. Yeah, and that's it's full circle about what you were saying about how um that shit, I lost it. But yeah, man, we're always fighting. All that fighting happened. And now, oh yeah, okay. So you're saying all this shit happened, and now it's too easy. We got it too easy. We have. What are we fighting about? You know,
Yeah.
life is too easy. I can just go to the store and get a taco. There's no wars going on constantly. I couldn't even imagine it being around World War One. So we have nothing to fight about. Humans need conflict. We need to be fighting about something. So I think that's why we're fighting over petty shit. Like you were saying, all this news and all this petty stuff that doesn't even matter. Um, it doesn't mean anything because we have no wars going on. I mean, we have little wars, but not massive wars. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen. I guess we can just wait and find out.
Just fucking buckle up and wait. Because whatever's going to happen is, I think, once again, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And it's very ignorant for us to say that we have any control over it. I think what we do have control over is, once again, it's this individual level.
Yes.
If we want to step outside of this, like, everybody agrees that our political structures are bullshit, yet they won't talk to their neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
We've still got our heads so far up a politician's ass.
Yeah.
Like this fucking dad complex, this parent complex where it's like, I need somebody to look after me.
Mm-hmm.
And I need somebody to blame if shit fucks up. So this is why we'll hire this guy. And all the things that go good, he's our friend. And all the things that go bad, it's his fucking fault. And yet we're still fucking terrified to talk to our neighbor. You know what I mean? It's so fucking dumb. Once again, and it's whatever happens does happen. The only thing we can control is our immediate circle.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And if you want to feel like you have control of your life, and like this whole government thing, they're tracking you and following you, and all these wars and all this racism shit and all this transphobia stuff, it can be solved by just talking to your neighbor.
For sure, man.
That's it. Let's leave that there.
Thank you, man. That was great, man. And that last comment, I 100% agree with you on that one. I think a lot of people it'll resonate with. So hopefully, all right, Elijah, what do you got coming up in the future, man? I think I'm just gonna keep doing podcasts, man. I like you're saying, we're in a rat race. We're just gonna keep living our lives. I'm hopefully gonna do some on the streets interviews. I want to talk to crackheads and bums. I want to maybe even try to help them. I want to I want to know what people are thinking. I want to know why that dude's on the street. Is he a veteran? Did he get screwed over by our government? You know what I mean? Stuff like that, you know? And other than that, I'm just going to keep trying to live my best life, man, and try to spread truth and talk to people. And hopefully people listen to this and open their minds up to what I was saying and what you're saying. And we just need to talk, man. We need to keep talking.
That's right. That's good, man. All right. Well, I'm going to post your show up in the whenever I post this. So
okay, yeah, that's cool.
If people want to check it out, just go find the About Me section under the video. Wherever I put it, it'll be there. I'll make it obvious. And go check out Elijah's show. All right, my man. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, see you, boss.
Talk to you later.